they compromised people.
And it's been going on forever.
Yeah.
Forever, dude.
It's got to be going on right now still.
100%. But
that was Joe Rogan. Not guessing, not going off on a rant, but reading straight from the Epstein documents. And then he said the one line that left everyone in the room completely stunned.
Is there a Jeffrey Epstein right now that we don't know about?
There's a million of them.
A million. Not one, not a few, a million. But here's the part that nobody, and I mean nobody, is connecting right now. It wasn't just about who visited the island. It wasn't just about who flew on the plane. Joe Rogan went deeper than that. He found something inside those files about what those parties were actually doing to the people inside them. Not just politically, not just legally.
If you really do the math, there has to be so many high-level powerful people somehow compromised.
Compromised. That single word carries far more weight than most people have taken the time to understand. Because Rogan wasn't only referring to blackmail. He was describing something deeper. A system built to get inside you, your secrets, your weaknesses, your body, and never release its grip. And the names tied to that system, they'll leave you stunned. On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice publishes what has become the biggest document release in the entire history of the Epstein case. We're talking about more than 3 million pages, 180,000 images, 2,000 videos, all uploaded to the public internet at the same time. The internet erupts into total chaos. Everyone starts looking up the same questions. Who was on the plane? Who went to the island? Who put their name on what? And almost instantly, one name appeared that no one saw coming. Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'm in the files for not going. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to meet with me.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
I'm like, no thanks.
And just like that, Rogan addresses it head on. He shares that back in 2017, a physicist named Lawrence Krauss, who had appeared on his podcast, relayed a message to him. Epstein had made contact, said he found Rogan entertaining, wanted to be introduced. Rogan searched the name online, discovered the 2008 conviction involving solicitation of a minor, and immediately cut off any connection.
Yeah, but I would have never went anyway. It's like, it's not even a possibility that I would ever went.
But
especially after I Googled it. I was like, what the f*** are you talking
A
about?
single Google search. That's all it took. And it kept his name out of those records for the right reasons. But here's the twist. While Rogan was going through those documents to verify his own account, he came across something that had nothing to do with him at all. Something that went much deeper than just Epstein as a person. And his response wasn't relief. It was fear. Because what Rogan uncovered wasn't simply a list of names. He discovered a system. And that system had a built-in feature. No one was talking about a mechanism embedded into the very structure of those parties. A method designed to ensure that once you step through that door, you could never truly step back out. We need to stop looking at the Epstein parties as if they were just extravagant events where bad things happened by chance. Rogan explains it in a way that completely changes how you see everything.
I bet it was a real good honeypot where there's a lot of sophisticated intellectual discourse. You got a lot of brilliant people there. You've got great music, you know. You got like famous people are hanging around too.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems really cool. And then if there's blackmail, the blackmail is like snuck into all this.
Yeah.
Snuck in, come to the room with the cameras. And next thing you know, you're doing cocaine.
Slipped in. That's the crucial word. This wasn't some rough or obvious setup. It wasn't a hidden backroom operation that signaled danger right away. It was crafted to feel like the most elite, most intellectually engaging, most exclusive setting imaginable. And once you felt at ease, once that atmosphere settled into you, the trap was already set. And this is where it becomes medically unsettling. because the documents didn't just show who attended. They included communications, emails, draft messages stored within Epstein's own accounts. And within one of those files, there was a detail so precise, so personal, that it reveals exactly the kind of leverage these gatherings were meant to create.
2 drafted emails are both dated July 18th, 2013, and they were saved in Jeffrey Epstein's email accounts. They appear to be draft emails from Epstein to itself. It's not actually clear who authored them, and there's no indication the messages were ever sent.
Now, regarding what was written in those emails. Based on reports about the files, one of the draft messages included a claim that Epstein assisted a well-known billionaire in handling consequences related to an STD. The email supposedly contained a request from that individual asking Epstein to remove messages mentioning the infection, even asking for antibiotics to be obtained discreetly. And that billionaire, the one referenced in those unconfirmed draft emails, was Bill Gates.
Now, a representative for Gates strongly denied those claims, telling CNN they were, quote, absolutely absurd and absolutely false.
The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. It just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that. It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And
Gates has denied all of it. And to be clear, those emails were never actually sent. They existed only as unverified drafts. No one has confirmed whether they are authentic. But here's what remains difficult to ignore: the extensive record of contact between Gates and Epstein. Dinners in 2010, lunch meetings in 2011, ongoing interactions through 2013 and 2014, a scheduled meeting in Norway, a Skype reminder, years of calendar entries, all taking place after Epstein's 2008 conviction.
They all hung out with him even after he got arrested. This is what's crazy.
That is crazy.
A lot of Bill Gates meetings with him were after he was prosecuted, and he got this little slap on the wrist, and he got essentially home detainment.
So Rogan's question isn't just for effect. Why? Why would some of the most influential people in the world keep meeting with a convicted sex offender unless that connection had created something that made leaving feel riskier than staying? That's the infection. Not just a metaphor, but a system. And then Melinda Gates spoke out, and what she revealed says it all.
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. For me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage.
She walked away from the marriage. She said she needed to step away from the foundation. She explained that the details connected to Epstein brought back memories from some of the most painful periods of her life. She didn't go into specifics. She didn't need to. The audience filled in those gaps on their own. And that is exactly the kind of infection Rogan is referring to. It doesn't only damage the person who entered the room, it spreads further. It affects marriages, families, reputations, legacies. Now let's focus on the names that continue to come up, because the celebrity side of this story is where things become truly explosive. Rogan has remained consistent on one point throughout all his discussions about the files. The most dangerous individuals in Epstein's circle weren't those who knew everything. They were the ones who knew just enough.
And I would hear about Chris Tucker and people hopping on the plane to go there. I didn't know that Epstein was, the bad guy that he is now, but I was like, damn, I would love to go.
That's Terrence Howard, by the way, openly saying that if he had been invited, he would have accepted. No hesitation at all. Because within those elite circles, receiving that invitation carried real significance. And then Chris Tucker was directly questioned about his name showing up in the flight logs.
Tucker goes, yeah, I did go on that flight, but we went to Africa and I went with a bunch of diplomats. I didn't know who this Epstein guy was. Chris Tucker basically confirmed that the list was like legit because he's on it.
He wasn't rejecting the list itself. He was clarifying why his name appeared on it. And by doing that, Rogan highlights something important. He effectively confirmed every other name included in that same document. This is the barrier. This is how the system works. Not direct denial, but carefully framed acknowledgement, a controlled version of the story. Everyone knows just enough to shield themselves. No one knows enough to bring everything down. Now, what about Elon Musk? Because Musk has openly said that Epstein repeatedly invited him to the island and that he turned it down every time. But the documents suggested something different.
Elon Musk, he said that he refused to go to the island, and then in these new files, it came out, I think it was an email that said, what day or night will be the wildest party on your island, to Jeffrey Epstein.
That email carries a date from November 2012. A year after that, Musk contacts Epstein again, asking about possibly visiting over the holidays. Epstein responds, always room for you. Yet in 2019, Musk told Vanity Fair that Epstein kept trying to get him there and that he turned it down every time. So either those emails don't reflect actual visits, which could be the case, or Musk's public statement didn't tell the full story. Then, during his highly public dispute with Donald Trump, Musk posted on X, time to drop the really big bomb. Trump is in the Epstein files. Shortly after, he added, remember this post for later. The truth will eventually come out. Think about that for a moment. A man whose own name appears in Epstein-related emails accusing a former president of ties to Epstein. This is where Rogan's investigation leads. Somewhere mainstream coverage still avoids going. Everyone keeps asking who went to the island. But Rogan kept asking a completely different question. Who was operating above the island?
A guy like that is running these kind of parties with all these rich and powerful people. How many different worldwide decisions can be manipulated because of these people and the compromises you have on them?
Right.
It's really a brilliant thing to do.
Yeah.
From an intelligence perspective.
Brilliant. An intelligence-style operation masked as an exclusive party network. And based on the documents, that operation had two key figures above Epstein that hardly anyone is talking about. The first is Les Wexner, the billionaire behind Victoria's Secret. You likely hadn't heard his name before this, but the files mention it more than 4,000 times. He didn't just associate with Epstein, he essentially created him. He granted him full power of attorney over his financial holdings. He also gave him a $77 million mansion in Manhattan, the same property where investigators later uncovered evidence of organized abuse. And when the 3 million documents were released, Wexner's name showed up clearly in nearly every file except one. The single document that directly identified him as an FBI co-conspirator. In that one, his name was completely redacted.
Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document?
Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
Minutes. It had been concealed. A congressman captured it on camera, and only after they were exposed did they restore it. That isn't a simple oversight. That's a deliberate choice. The second name is Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, a Dubai billionaire, former chairman of one of the world's largest port operating companies, managing shipping hubs across more than 70 countries, with ties to royal circles throughout the Middle East. His name shows up in the files over 5,000 times. And in one email from 2009, Epstein writes to him directly mentioning a torture video in a tone that's casual and relaxed, like two people chatting about everyday things. When that email became public, bin Sulayem stepped down from his role. No charges were filed, no arrest was made, no investigation followed. He remains free to this day. And then something happened that left even the victims' lawyers stunned.
List of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did. And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known.
The powerful had their names blacked out. The victims were the ones who ended up exposed, supposedly by mistake. Now, here's the conclusion Rogan keeps returning to, the one that ties everything together. Because this is what people often get wrong about how an operation like this functions. It doesn't fall apart when the middleman is removed. The blackmail material doesn't just disappear. The recordings don't simply vanish. The leverage, the infection, it only needs someone new to carry it forward. And Rogan explains clearly why this system was designed so effectively to keep going.
The blackmail is like snuck into all this.
Yeah.
Snuck in, come to the room with the cameras. The next thing you know, you're doing cocaine.
The model and its plans get duplicated. There's a movie that demonstrates this idea in a way Hollywood tried hard to keep people from watching. Sound of Freedom came out in 2023 with a budget of $14.5 million and earned over $250 million at the box office. But before it reached that success, it remained shelved for 5 years. No major studio wanted to take it on. When it was finally released, mainstream media labeled it a QAnon-related film. Critics heavily criticized it. They even ridiculed the audience.
Despite the fact that this movie is, for one, based on true real-world events, and also despite the fact that it exposes the very real reality that millions of children across the world find themselves in, well, there are elite forces in both Hollywood as well as the media which have actively been working for the past 5 years to suppress this movie.
The audience showed up regardless. They filled entire theaters, paid for tickets for strangers, and Jim Caviezel, the actor who portrayed the real-life agent the film was based on, shared an incident from a screening in Las Vegas that left everyone completely stunned.
Each screening, there was a talking going on. And I was like watching the audience going, what? The second time it happened. Again, third time, talking in this one particular spot. And I'm thinking, what? Did we do something wrong or something? But so then one more time it happened. At the end, I was asking about the movie, and I asked him about that one particular part where everybody's talking, and they all cried out Epstein Island. And I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against.
The audience figured it out on their own without being told, because the film clearly shows how these networks actually function. Fake modeling recruiters, mansion gatherings, powerful figures using status and fame as a shield, victims left too isolated and too scared to speak up. That's not fiction. That mirrors the Epstein playbook exactly, word for word. And Corey Feldman attempted to warn about this environment decades before any of these files ever surfaced. He tried to call out names on live television, and Barbara Walters told him directly, protect the industry, not the victims. That has been the rule long before Epstein. And right now, with the DOJ announcing the case as officially closed with no new charges. A senior official standing at a podium saying the review is complete. That same rule is still being followed.
2 photos. Please put the photos back up. These 2 photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than enough evidence to predicate an investigation against former Prince Andrew.
And the Senate. Let's bring up the Senate. Destabilizing. Because what would truly cause disruption isn't Epstein's name. It's the identity of whoever is running the operation now. Virginia Giuffre, the woman who had the most knowledge, the woman who was working on a book, the woman who possessed photos, testimony, and names, gone before the book could be released, before the complete client list could come out.
Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus.
The woman who was the most fearful, she made it clear herself before she passed, she wasn't scared of Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was already gone. She feared the people connected to him, the ones who are still out there. So this is where it all leads. Those gatherings weren't just parties, they were a system. A carefully designed environment meant to get inside the most powerful individuals in the world through temptation, through ego, through the thrill of being in the most exclusive room imaginable, and then use whatever happened there as control that lasts forever. Ghislaine Maxwell is behind bars, convicted for trafficking to someone, and that means by law, someone committed a crime. And yet no list, no charges, no names.
She's the only person ever to be tried and arrested and put in jail for. Where's the list of the people that she's to?
The DOJ shut the case down. 2 million documents are still being kept from the public. The Senate voted to keep them concealed. The FBI director stood before Congress and stated there was nothing there. And yet, one congressman after another sat across from him, holding photographs that suggested otherwise. Epstein wasn't the originator. He was operating within a larger system. He was given the resources, the funding, the access, and the structure by people above him. And when he went down, those individuals didn't go down with him. The infection didn't end with the host.
Is there a Jeffrey Epstein right now that we don't know about?
The same honeypot structure. Bring in well-known figures to make the place seem credible. Bring in influential people to make the access feel elite. And then use surveillance to ensure no one ever speaks out. If they do,